guys, welcome to the very first episode of the Parking Lot Dreamer podcast. I'm your host, Hope Blanchard. I'm a country pop singer-songwriter living out of this van in Nashville, Tennessee. This is my van. This is my home. I've lived here for the past 5 years. We moved in October 2019. For those of you that have never heard of it, I do this thing called Vanlife. So basically, you start out with an empty van. This used to be completely empty, just basically like an empty shell back there. If you've ever seen older Amazon Prime vehicles, not the fancy new electric ones, the ones from a few years back, it looks just like that on the inside. We built it to what it is now, and it's got pretty much everything we would need. We have a bed, we have a camp toilet, we have propane burners for cooking, even though your girl is not a very good cook, so we don't use them very often. But we do have a microwave for reheating when we eat out, which we do entirely too much. A lot of you are probably like, this sounds exactly like an RV. It is. Essentially the same exact thing. It does all the same things. We have running water. We have, as you can see, we have lights on back there. We have power. But maneuvering around Nashville in an RV was not something that we were interested in. So the van is just a lot more compact, a lot less space, but a lot easier to drive around the city. We had to get really creative with our housing situation after living in a very expensive apartment for about a year when we first moved to Nashville. Every apartment is very expensive in Nashville. It's just not a cheap place to live. However, we felt like we really needed to be here because this is where we need to chase our dreams. This is where the industry is. This is where albums are made. This is where connections are made. This is where everything happens. So leaving Nashville was not an option for us. I thought at first, what if we moved into a tour bus? That way we could go on a tour and then have a place to live when we're back here in Nashville recording albums and doing the thing. Well, tour buses are very expensive, actually more expensive than just renting from an apartment. So that was out. And then I felt kind of bad because Mitch was really excited about the idea of doing something out of the ordinary. And I remembered, wait a minute, I saw this thing called Vanlife on Pinterest before. And I kid you not, guys, within minutes of me mentioning this, Mitch had Googled Vanlife. He was on the phone with any dealership nearby or not nearby, and he was trying to figure out how to get his hands on a van, and the right van. And how are we going to build this out? What materials do we need? Where are we going to park? All of the things. So now we're here 5 years later, and we did it. We definitely did it. I feel super blessed to have a husband, partner, friend that was willing to move into 70 square feet so I could follow my dream. And that does not go unnoticed. I know a lot of people maybe think that I'm making this big old sacrifice by living in a van, but honestly, I feel super, super blessed because a lot of people don't have that support system or the means to be able to make a radical decision like that. So here we are. Shout out, Mitch. You're the best. We didn't get to just check out of society. You know, a lot of van lifers really save up a lot of money and work really hard so that they can go travel the country. And although someday that is a dream of ours, we'd love to travel the country while on tour performing music for you guys. So, unfortunately, but fortunately, we are not parked in a beautiful national park. We're not going to see the Everglades or the Rocky Mountains. We are in Cracker Barrel parking lots or Walmart parking lots or various other parking lots just outside Nashville so that we can be in town to make this dream come true. So why van life? Why did you choose to do this, Hope? I'm a little bit confused. The real answer is music is super expensive and Nashville rent is also super expensive. So something had to give and I was not about to let it be music. And now, because of this decision, I'm able to spend what would have been spent on rent every month on music and fun projects like this. So I am very excited and feel very blessed, and I'm very starry-eyed and hopeful, and I don't want this to make people go, let me just get rid of all of my things and move into a van. Hope does it, and she thinks it sounds great. Although it is great, I do want to let you know that my life is very, very different than it was prior. I don't have regular access to a shower. Mitch and I are constantly bumping into each other. We don't have very much privacy. Actually, no privacy. There's only one room, so if one of us has to use the restroom, the other one is there. If you want to open the door, you are in a literal parking lot, so people are going to see inside your home. There's just a lot of things that take some getting used to, for sure. Now there's a microphone in front of me and I am in the driver's seat. We've lived in this van for the past 5 years. We haven't shared all the videos we wanted to. We haven't shot all the photos we wanted to. But we have this thing, which means we can start a podcast, which everyone has a podcast right now. So what's one more, right? So I figured we would start this podcast called the Parking Lot Dreamer Podcast, where I tell you the stories of the things I've experienced and gotten to do over the past 5 years living in this van. And also while I'm at it, just, tell you what it's like to be a musician in Nashville, Tennessee, trying to chase a crazy dream. And might I add, I have a passenger seat. So I figured that I should have some friends on, let them experience the van, the tiny life, and share their stories about their dreams. This is the Parking Lot Dreamer Podcast, and buckle up because things are about to get crazy.